Chapter 3: Rise of the Ice Beasts. As the Pleistocene progressed, cold became an omnipresent element in the landscape. The glaciers continued to advance, covering vast expanses of land with their blanket of ice and leaving a trail of carved valleys and moraines in their wake. Mammoths, iconic giants of the Ice Age, had become masters of adaptation. Their dense fur and layers of fat protected them from the harsh winter, and their colossal fangs allowed them to dig up vegetation that lay beneath the snow. In these frozen lands, the forests had receded, leaving behind vast expanses of tundra. In these places, herds of woolly bison desperately searched for food, scraping through the snow to reach buried grasses. The reindeer, with their majestic antlers, wandered in search of lichens and mosses under the snow. Competition for resources intensified, and predators lurked patiently, waiting for the right moment to strike. Ice dominated the scene in the northern regions. The glaciers stretched as far as the eye could see, and the frigid air cut like knives. In this world of ice and snow, Homo erectus had evolved to survive. They used stone and bone tools to hunt mammoths and bison, and built temporary shelters to protect themselves from the extreme cold. Despite the adverse conditions, life flourished in this cold landscape. The Arctic and subarctic regions were filled with migratory birds that came in search of food and nesting places. In the frigid waters, seals and sea lions gathered on the shores to give birth to their pups, taking advantage of the marine conditions amidst the snow and ice. Saber-toothed tigers, with their sharp fangs and muscular bodies, were the apex predators of this frozen world. They lurked in the dark, waiting for their prey among tundra bushes or ambushing them in narrow passages between moraines. Hunting was a constant challenge and a daily struggle for survival in this unforgiving environment. The Pleistocene was a time of contrasts. Although ice and snow dominated the northernmost regions, life clung to existence in a landscape that defied the odds. The ice beasts had evolved to thrive in the midst of the Ice Age, and the world was transforming into an epic scene of survival and adaptation. This rise of the ice beasts would mark an unforgettable chapter in the history of the Pleistocene. In the winter skies, the northern lights painted an ethereal spectacle of dancing lights in shades of green and purple. Homo erectus, who had learned to interpret these natural wonders, used the northern lights as a guide during their seasonal migrations and to mark important events on their prehistoric calendars. Despite the extreme cold, these populations of early humans had managed to establish temporary communities in the Arctic tundra, sharing knowledge and survival techniques passed down from generation to generation. In the southernmost regions, where the ice had not advanced as strongly, herds of herbivores continued their march in search of pasture and water. Large predators such as the saber-toothed tiger followed their trails, taking advantage of any opportunity to hunt. Hunting was not a mere act of survival, but a fight of wits and cunning, with predators and prey in a constant game of strategy. Along the coast, the sea played a crucial role in the survival of many creatures. Seals and sea lions dove into the cold waters in search of fish and octopuses, while seabirds took to the skies in search of their own prey. Homo erectus had learned to take advantage of marine resources, fishing in the icy waters and collecting shellfish on rocky shores. Nights in the Pleistocene were a challenge in themselves. Temperatures fell to extreme levels, and biting winds accentuated the cold. Homo erectus took refuge in their temporary huts, where they shared the warmth of bonfires and told stories that had lasted for thousands of generations. Survival in this frozen world required not only physical strength, but also the transmission of knowledge and traditions that would allow the community to face the challenges of a relentlessly changing world. The rise of the ice beasts was a testament to the tenacity and adaptation of life in the Pleistocene. In the midst of a frozen world, creatures had evolved and prehistoric humans had learned to face adversity, demonstrating the resilience of life in an unforgiving environment. The Pleistocene, with its rise of the ice beasts, was revealed to be an epic chapter in the history of the Earth, full of challenges and triumphs in the midst of the most extreme conditions.